Hello, everybody. It is me, Knight, and if my mic seems a little off, and I know the last couple of videos has been like that. Well, I can't help it. I've been trying to figure it out. Um, could be just the microphone itself. I'm sorry for that. So I'll try to keep it not as loud if I can, but I can only go so far. Anyway, this video, as you can see from the title, is about the Royal Rumble, and this Royal Rumble was probably one of the more predictable Rumbles I've seen. Um, Most of the matches were very predictable on who was going to win. It was just too easy. Okay, so we had a kickoff match, which was a fatal four-way tag team match, and the winners would be put into the Royal Rumble match. They qualify for it. Just want to point this out. This will become something to talk about later when I get to the Royal Rumble match. But anyway, the winners of it were Mark Henry and Jack Swagger. Weird combination. But they took on the Dudleys, the Ascension, and the weirdest tag team I've seen yet, Darren Young and Damien Sandow, which... why? You would think it'd be the prime time players, not that, but okay. Anyway, Mark Henry and Jack Swagger win. I didn't really watch the match because that was probably the only unpredictable match. I didn't even know it existed. As my cat kind of does stuff on the video. Anyway, so that's how it got kicked off. It really wasn't something I paid attention to. I didn't really care about. So we move on. First match of the night was the last man standing match for the Intercontinental title, in that of Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens, and a lot of carnage was laid. I didn't watch most of this match because I had a feeling that I knew who was going to win. Dean Ambrose. Why? Well, recently I watched a few videos of his Jon Moxley matches when he was with I think CZW. Could be wrong. I think it was CZW. I think that was it. Anyway, yeah, Dean just destroyed it. In fact, Owen set up a chairs spot where he put four chairs pointing against each other, and then put a chair on top of it. And he was getting ready to. He set Ambrose on it, and he was getting ready to do, I guess, a moonsault or something like that because he climbed the top rope. Ambrose gets up, pushes Owens off of it and into two tables that were stacked at that corner. So at the count of 10 hit, Ambrose wins. Good match. I wouldn't say it was the greatest, but goddamn. So the next match was, I believe, for the WWE Tag Team Champions chips, with the New Day versus the Usos. And if you did not have the New Day winning, why didn't you? They're one of the most over tag teams right now. I don't see the point of them still being champions, though, because as much as they're over with the crowd and everything, I don't like them. I really don't like their gimmick. It's one of the more boring gimmicks I've ever seen. It's the only good guy out of it is Xavier Woods, and the only reason why he's good is because, well, he's just like us. Anybody that is a nerd or a geek or any of those things, he does those things. He plays video games. He references TV shows. He references movies. Stuff like that. So, yeah, New Day won, and actually without too much interference, which is kind of a first for a while. So, yeah, New Day wins. And I knew the Usos weren't going to win. I just had a feeling it wasn't going to be their night. So the next match we had was Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio for the United States Championship match. And it's a rematch. Now, I guess in the past week and a half or two, they've been having a series of matches. Kalisto won the title from Alberto Del Rio, I think on a SmackDown taping. Yeah, it was SmackDown. And was champion for a few days, and then Raw came around and it switched back. So now Alberto is another like a 2 or 3 time champion now. And So going in, Kalisto was going to have the rubber match against Alberto, who was champion, and Kalisto wins. He is the new United States champion. Awesome. Um, I honestly don't think this rivalry was meant to happen. Personally, I think it was supposed to be Cena, um, because it would have made more sense. But Cena got injured, which resulted in Kalisto becoming champion. So there you go. And so we have the last main match before the Royal Rumble, which is the Divas Championship match. Charlotte, who's champion, versus Becky Lynch. And, of course, interference by Ric Flair made this easily to predict. Charlotte wins because of a sports coat. By all rights, Becky should have won this. If it wasn't for that kind of interference, it would have been hers. She slapped on her submission move and was about to win until Ric Flair throws his sports jacket in front of her face. And so she lets go to deal with it, and that sets up Charlotte for a spear to win. Then, moments later, I believe she keeps beating down Becky Lynch, only for Sasha Banks to come out. Who people have been wanting Sasha Banks to be in a title picture. Amazingly, she's had the greatest matches in NXT. And some of them were with Bayley, but the greatest fucking matches. She needs that push. And she did. She came out, and it looked like she was going face to face with Charlotte, only to kick Lynch out of the ring and said, it's my turn to have the spotlight, things like that. She turns, and it looks like she's formed an alliance with Charlotte, and then she turns on Charlotte and slaps her own submission move on her. So they're making a push to possibly be at WrestleMania Triple Threat for the title. Maybe. More likely it's going to happen at Fastlane, but you never know. So, overall, that was a good, decent match, but I didn't watch most of it. Again, most of these matches, they were so predictable, I know who was going to win, that I didn't care about them. The only match I do care about the Royal Rumble is really the Royal Rumble match. It is the only match I seem to want to care about, because anything could happen. Except, it, too, was too goddamn predictable. And I'll tell you why. So, entrant number 1. This was announced I think 2 weeks ago or last week. Roman Reigns, entrant number 1. Go figure, right? And entrant number 2 is Rusev, and he eliminates him. Next entrant, we get AJ Styles. Oh my god. He got a loud crowd pop because he had some good theme music. No one knew it was, and then suddenly he popped out. And he lasted till I think entrant 16 came out, which is goddamn good. He got eliminated by Kevin Owens after 28 minutes. So, yeah, I got high hopes for AJ Styles in this business right now. So we move on. Entrant after entrant, no one really standing out. I think one of the Wyatts came out, but it's still not caring. Kevin Owens comes out, and he looks like he's hurt, and he eventually eliminates AJ Styles. Roman gets pulled from the ring, and the League of Nations, which consisted of 3 of the 4 guys, because Barrett is not there. Why? He just isn't there, and so Roman Reigns gets his ass beat. Gets put through the Smash and House table and then taken to the back. Never eliminated. Do you see where I'm going with this? For over half this match, he was gone. That's sad. But it was so fucking predictable. It would have been beneficial to leave him in the ring, though, personally. So, the next entrant we get after Owens, the next notable, is Sami Zayn. And he eliminates Kevin Owens, which was awesome. But then you had another Wyatt come out, and there was 3 of them in the ring, and it wasn't Bray. And they just start destroying everybody. Um, to the point where it's 3 Wyatts and then Jericho and Zayn. Then we get Brock Lesnar to come out, and he eliminates all 3 Wyatts before Bray comes out. Awesome. No F5s to any of those Wyatts, sadly. But he German suplexed a bunch of them except for Braun Strowman, which I was hoping that he would F5 the shit out of him, because it would have been awesome. But they didn't do that. Why? I don't know. Maybe Brock didn't feel like lifting 300 pounds on his back one night. He's done it to Big Show 100 times, but he can't do it to Strowman? I don't know. So, skip a couple, and Bray comes out number 27. Not bad. Oh, before that, number 26 was Jack Swagger, by the way. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger came out and were eliminated in 5 seconds of each other, practically. See, Mark Henry, I think, was number 22, and the Wyatts eliminated him before he really even got started. Number 23 was Brock. Number 24, I can't remember. Another 25 right now. But 26 was Jack Swagger, and as soon as he came in, he got F5 and knocked the fuck out. That was it. Bye, Jack. Bye, Mark. The guys that won that freaking kickoff match gone within 5 seconds of being in the ring. They won something very important, guys. If you're gonna do that next time, put them in earlier. Just saying. So, number 27 is Bray. Bray summons all 3 of the other Wyatts because they've been eliminated by this point, and they start beating down Lesnar. Lesnar gets some aggression back into it, but too much odds over him, and he gets eliminated by the Wyatts. By Lesnar. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dean Ambrose was in the still ring, wasn't he? I forgot about him. So by entrant 28, you have Bray, Dean. Zayn was already eliminated by this point, I believe. Bray, Dean, The Miz came out number 12, so the number 24th entrant was still in, and the Miz was 25. And yeah. Oh yeah, Del Rio. So you had a few of them in there. So number 28 comes out, and I can't think of who he is right now. Sorry, I just finished watching it, but I think it's really overshadowed by number 29 and 30, really. Number 28 was Ziggler, I think. I could be wrong on that one. Yeah, it was Ziggler. And he does his things, and they were all in there. Number 29 is announced as Sheamus. I had totally forgotten about Sheamus up to this point. I was hoping to be a surprise return of Daniel Bryan or an NXT wrestler by the name of Finn Balor. But they didn't do that because they pissed off the fans by eliminating AJ Styles, and they don't feel like going by that way. Sheamus is about halfway to the ring when Roman Reigns comes back and Superman punches him and starts laying waste to everybody in the ring. And as he's hulking up, essentially, number 30 is announced. Hey, guess what, Triple H? Who's seen this one not come, huh? This was totally a surprise. I was really hoping not to see him, but hey, he is number 30, meaning that he was the surprise entrant all along. Ha ha ha. By the way, the crowd was really into seeing Triple H return. Even though he's a heel, but they don't want Reigns to have that title. So, you go in, and you know who's gonna fucking win, because it's Triple H, and he's number 30, and you know he's gonna win because it makes the most fucking sense to have him have the title that he doesn't fucking need, and he's technically retired, But we're going to give him the title anyway. So he's now a 14-time champion. Yeah. Yeah. Bray gets eliminated. Ziggler gets eliminated. Jericho gets eliminated. Last four are Dean Ambrose, Triple H, Roman Reigns, and Sheamus. Sheamus gets eliminated by Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns gets eliminated by Triple H, which threw everybody off for a moment. Because now we have Dean Ambrose versus Triple H as the final two guys to win the title. No one's seen that one coming. A lot of people thought Roman Reigns was going to be the last guy to be eliminated. And I mean, I would say about 80% of the goddamn people watching in the arena and at home. So there's the typical face that everybody wants to win, which is Dean Ambrose. And then there's the typical heel of the place where everybody was happy to see eliminate Roman Reigns. And Triple H eliminates Dean Ambrose. Not handily. Dean Ambrose put up a fight. But, yeah. Ambrose lost. Last eliminated. Runner-up. Which means one of two things. One, Fastlane is going to have Triple H versus Roman Reigns. Because if I stand corrected, now this is only based on 1999's Royal Rumble. They might have changed this ruling a long time ago. The runner-up would be given the match at WrestleMania for the title. Because the one who won it can't defend it. Chooses not to go after it. Which, if you remember from 1999, Mr. McMahon won that Rumble. And proceeded not to cash in on who, at the time, The Rock, who was champion. Which brought up the rules that Stone Cold Steve Austin was the runner-up of that match. He was given that title opportunity. So, part of me is hoping that that plays a storyline in this one. And that Dean Ambrose gets that chance. Which means Triple H and Roman Reigns fight for the title at Fastlane. That's the way I would write it. Because it makes sense to me. And that's actually fair. And that was based on 1999 logic of the Royal Rumble. Now, if things have changed, they don't have that ruling anymore, then that means, well, we're going to see Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which is pretty much what everybody predicts right now. Probably for the title. I'm not hyped for that. It'd be nice, but I've seen it 100,000 times. No one remembers the Shield versus Evolution. You know Reigns is going to win it, right? They've been booking that for over a year now. Pretty sure they're going to give him his moment. Yeah, I'm almost positive. And the thing is, if they do that, then what the fuck happens to Dean Ambrose? That's why everybody was thinking that Reigns was going to be the last eliminated, not Ambrose. I'm pretty positive that's why everybody was thinking that. It's a little weird. I'm not going to lie. That is very, very weird that they are planning it this way. So, I hope that they do something smart and they actually do the 1999 logic, because I think everybody would want that. The idea of the Intercontinental Champion taking on the World Champion at WrestleMania is really nice. It's almost very much reminiscent of Hogan versus Warrior, you know. This time you have Triple H, if he is champion by that point, versus Dean Ambrose, or Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. either way, it works. It works very fantastically. So, yeah, that's what we can hope. Will it happen? Probably not. So, did I like the Royal Rumble match this year? Yes. I think it was done better than the last 2 years ago when it sucked. And last year when it sucked even worse. So they improved. And I mean, they improved a lot. But it's still too predictable. And I mean that in a bad way. You gotta make it less predictable than that. Now, what I mean is, like, instead of having Reigns stay out for half the fucking match, let him stay in and get eliminated, I don't know, when Entrant 23 comes out by the name of Brock Lesnar. Because then it's not as predictable. It will throw everybody for a loop, and you wouldn't expect it. That is what should have happened. It didn't, and that's why it became predictable. You knew who was going to be number 30. You knew who was going to win. And you knew that it was going to be number 30. And it was going to be Triple H. It was too fucking easy to predict. Now, the other problem I had with this Rumble is the surprise entrance. They took it on a lowdown this time. I mean, Zayn was probably the only other surprise entrant no one expected. But I kind of expected Zayn to be part of it because KO is a part of it. And they have this heat dating back since last year. And then you have, of course, AJ Styles, who this is his very first match, and he's been put in the main event called the Royal Rumble, and has done pretty good. I mean, given he didn't do a whole lot of stuff, he didn't do a lot of eliminations, but he was working on a schedule, I think, all that week for like 4 days straight. So I wouldn't expect him to do a whole lot. But yeah. Overall, I think it was a better Rumble. The crowd seemed to be better into it. They liked the winner this time, which is strange considering it's Triple H and he's a heel. It's gotta be because of Roman Reigns. They gotta either do one of two things. One, have Roman Reigns go on hiatus for like 6 months to where they can redo everything about him. Or two, take him out of that title picture. Because there's a reason why people don't want him to win. It's too easy to predict. Now, in comparison to last year, Reigns winning the Rumble last year in comparison to this year's Reigns is totally polar opposites of each other. Last year, everybody knew who was going to win, and they didn't want that. And the fact that they got rid of Daniel Bryan in such an early place really pissed off their crowd, which is the reason why all that happened. So now we get this year's Reigns, which we know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. We are almost predicting it. And it's kind of the same formula that they run, but this time done better. In a writer's perspective, it was actually done without the flaws. And they made it better with the ending. They made it better with everything. But they need to put some unpredictability in there. It's too predictable. The fact that they got rid of Lesnar as early as they did, I think, was kind of a good thing. And personally, I think it was the best thing they could have done. Have him not even be a thought. Because Lesnar didn't need the win. He didn't need any of these things. He doesn't need to be a champion. He doesn't need to be anything. He just needs to be Brock fucking Lesnar and destroy things. So put him in a match where he can destroy things. That's kind of his gimmick, you know. Don't make him champion because then we're going to have that whole thing that happened last year. Where he's gone for months at a time and defends it once every 3 months. You know, don't do that. So yeah. My rating for this Rumble, based on predictability, I'll give it a 7. This whole event was kind of predictable. I almost guessed every single one right. I think the only one that threw me off maybe was the Becky Lynch fight. Because I was kind of hoping Becky would win against Charlotte because it would have made a lot more sense to have that happen. But what can you do? Of course, the kickoff show didn't matter to me. I didn't even think about that. Um, they set up the Royal Rumble the way they did. That's kind of a really bad because of the way they set it up. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little review. I'm trying to keep it short because I don't like going on hour-long rants or things like that too often. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for another pay-per-view wrestling match, which will probably be Fastlane now that I think about it. Yeah, I think it's Fastlane. Anyway, see you all later.